David Copperfield is deeply attached to his mother. Unfortunately, his father died 6 months before his birth. His early childhood is a very happy one, and once he goes with his nurse, Mrs. Peggotty, for a holiday to Yarmouth. They stay with her brother, Mr. Peggotty, and other relatives in a boathouse. On his return, David finds that his mother has remarried. He is ill-treated by his stepfather, Mr. Murdstone, and sent away to a Salem house, a school run by a cruel man named Creakle. After his mother's death, David is sent to work for a few shillings a week at Murdstone and Grimby's warehouse in London. He stays with Mr. Micawber and his family. He loved them a lot, but they leave London and David decides to go to find his great-aunt, Miss Betsy Trotwood, who lives in Dover, but he is robbed of his money and has to walk the whole way to her. Miss Betsy is very kind to him and sends him to an excellent school in Warehouse, where he boards with Mr. Wickfield and his daughter Agnes. Mr. Wickfield has a weakness for drink, and his cunning clerk Uriah Heep takes advantage of this. After leaving school, David is articled to the firm of Spenlow and Jorkins in London. He meets Mr. Spenlow's daughter, Dora, and falls in love with her, but Mr. Spenlow refuses to consider him as a son-in-law. Miss Trotwood loses her money and comes to live in London. David works extremely hard and becomes a successful writer. After Mr. Spenlow's death, David and Dora are married. Dora is pretty but silly and wishes to be regarded as a child wife. She loses a child, is very ill, and weakens slowly and dies. To forget his grief, David goes abroad and is away for 3 years. During this time, he realizes that he loves Agnes, but is sure that she regards him as a brother. He returns to England and realizes that she has always loved him. They are married. Miss Trotwood's fortune is restored, and Uriah Heep is imprisoned for fraud. Mr. Peggotty's family, as well as Mr. Micawber's family, emigrate to Australia and live happily.